Hello, it's Marty from Aiphone, and I'm really excited to introduce two brand new products from Aiphone. We've got our IXG product line. First off, we've got our IXG 2C7, which is our brand new touchscreen 7-inch tenant station. This is what it looks like. It's really sharp, 7-inch touchscreen with the capability of having an SD card in the side to record all the people that come to your apartment, and it's actually PoE. So you just run a Cat5 cable PoE, and the unit's powered up. That's all you need to do to get this system to work, and then you program it. I'm going to go over a great feature of this system, the flush mount capability. So that being said, we also introducing a flush mount kit for this system. You could surface or flush mount it. The flush mount kit is IXG FMK 2C7. That's for your flush mount. I've taken the liberty of unboxing the system, and you can see what comes with it, except for the screwdriver. So we'll start the install process. First thing you do is you take your tenant station, you flip her over, and you take the bracket that's used to surface mount it, because you're going to flush mount the unit. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that bracket. Then what you do is you pick up your flush mount bracket. All right, this is for a retrofit where you're not using conduit. This box would need to be installed if you're using conduit in the install. The only place I'm aware that this is definitely needed would be Chicago, where all wires need to be in conduit. This back unit is actually, don't know if you can see it, but it's ABS fire resistant 17. So it's a fire resistant mounting bracket. So what you do is you take the mounting bracket and you gently place the apartment station inside the unit. So when you flip it over, you've got your SD card slot and your PoE slot that you can actually see. Then you have the optional card, the optional SD card that does not come with the system. And what you want to do is you want to put it in to the slot here, which I'm going to do off camera because it is a little small, and I will get that in there. So the card is in the slot, and push this back. Now we took that bracket off because there are 1, 2, 3, 4 screw holes that you need to use to mount the system. So put your screws in and tighten them up. And you do that 4 times. Now what you're going to do is you're going to prepare your wall for the installation. So when you're all done, you simply put this bracket over the top and you're all set. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut to the wall, and I'll show you how to cut your hole and continue with the installation. So now your unit is prepared for the installation. All you have to do is cut the hole in the wall. Okay, here's our wall. The first thing we want to do to make sure we're ADA compliant is decide the height of the unit. Now, if your apartment doesn't have the ability to pull your wheelchair up like this, so you can just reach up and touch the button, you have to reach forward to be able to touch the unit to unlock the door and communicate with your customer. The maximum height you can put it at is 48 inches. See, again, the wheel is here and the person has to lean forward, so they don't have the reach capability. So if they could pull their wheelchair up so it's parallel with the wall like this, they've got a much greater reach potential, and the height would be 54 inches, and that's to the highest button. Okay, so once you've decided the height of where you're going to install it, the first thing you want to do is verify you have no studs in the area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run my stud tester to make sure I have no studs in the area I want to install it. So I have a stud here, but this entire area is 100% free. Okay, so then you want to use a level to make sure that you're installing this properly and it's going to be level when it's installed. So I've got my level there, and what I want to do is I want to make a mark where I'm going to drill the hole for my system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the frame here, and what I want to do is I want to make it about 1.5 inches above the 54-inch mark. Make sure it's level. And I'm doing this because this is where the highest button lies. So you can get a little more height out of it. So then you simply draw your lines where your hole is going to be drilled, and you're all set. Now the next step is to drill your holes, and we will take care of that. I'm trying to do this as real time as possible so an integrator can get the scope of what time it's going to take for his guy to install it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple holes in the sheetrock so I can make my hole. Now I'm just going to get a saw. Okay, now keep in mind that this is the exact dimension of your unit. So what you want to do is you want to go about a 1/2 inch around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the saw. And now my hole is done, and all I want to do is just verify that my unit will fit in. It does. And then I have 4 holes that I need to do. I'm going to use a sheetrock screw to put this in place, and we're done. So let me finish that up for you. Okay, so now here's your hole in the wall. And you got your Cat 5 cable. What I would highly recommend is, whether you're using them or not, I would install these option connectors. Because if you don't install them now and you need them in the future, most likely you would misplace them. So I would install those just so you don't misplace them in case you need them in the future. And then I would plug your Cat 5 PoE switch in. Okay, so that clicks in nicely. And then make sure that your Aiphone is facing down so you have it mounted properly. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a couple sheetrock screws to mount this properly on the wall. So I'm going to screw these puppies in. And when you're all set, the next step would be to put this fascia on. So, this is your fascia, and you just simply put it on, run your finger along the top with a minimum pressure. You can hear it snap in place. Now that's a beautiful install. And if you see, look real close, you can see how close it is to the wall. It's a nice high-end install. Your customer should be very happy with it. So that's how you install the flush mount system for the IXG. I hope this was helpful.